This episode of What Drives Reno is brought to you by Pennzoil. Long may we drive.
Hello, everybody. My name is Phil MacDougall, president of the National Automobile Museum, and you're on What Drives Reno, made possible by Pennzoil.
Long
you want us to say it?
That's perfect, see? But people don't know is that's like the third cut, and I just gave up and let them give the tagline. So thank you very much, Shelby Hall and the famous Deb Pollack. Thank you very much
so
for being here.
famous.
Famous, actually. Both of you are very famous. So we always start off the show very simply by telling the viewers, what was your first car? And if there is a G-rated version of that first car experience you want to share with the group. So who wants to kick it off?
I'll kick it off.
Go for it.
My first car was a hand-me-down, and it was, I don't remember the year, but it was a Dodge Neon, and it was like strawberry pink, and it had a black bra, and I loved racing that thing around.
No good stories?
I mean, nothing other than driving it harder than it probably should have been driven.
Fair enough.
My stepmom had it first, and then my sister, and then me. So, that thing had been put through its paces.
How about you, Deb?
The first car that I bought, the first new car I had was a Datsun 280 SL hatchback with a removable, what do you call it? The sunroof.
Mm-hmm.
And it was horrible because every time you wanted to get that sun in, you had to get out of the car, lift it up, take it out, and find a place to store it, right?
Yes.
But the best part was that it was a 5-speed manual. So not many of my friends drove a stick. And, when you're 18, 19, and you're the only one in the valley that's driving a stick, all the boys like to talk to you. So
That's
I
cool.
liked it.
So you weren't teaching your friends how to drive it?
For that reason, no.
Yeah.
And where were the cars? Where were you from when you had the
That
first
was in
cars?
Los Angeles.
And you?
Reno, Nevada.
Reno. I want people to know you are a local person.
I am.
Local girl. So
yes.
another added element to the program today. All right, let's talk about why we're here today. Deb, kick it off.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of about how we all met. And we all met because of the foundation that I run, which is Drive Toward a Cure. And it supports Parkinson's within the automotive community at large. Pennzoil happens to be a very nice sponsor of ours, and also the Shell brand has been with us since our inception in 2016.
Long may we drive.
Long may we
Finally,
drive.
I got it.
and both your guests today, Shelby Hall and Federico Scarifo, are Pennzoil sponsored racers in their own rights. And so, we thought it would be fun to have the people that are supporting us show their support for their guys.
And Federico will be joining us via Zoom shortly.
He will.
So stay tuned. In a few minutes, we'll pipe him into the call, and he'll join in on the fun. So tell us about the event. What do we have in store?
Well, I mean, we've got an event that by the time this airs will be long over,
Yeah, that's
but
right.
our Shelby is going to be one of the stars of our event, which I'm really thrilled about. And the reason why with both of them working with us with Drive Toward a Cure to support Parkinson's, it's kind of hits home for Shelby. Her grandfather, who was a very famous off-road pioneer and legacy, was Rod Hall, a Hall of Fame inductee in the Off-Road Hall of Fame, whose Bronco was here in this museum.
Yes, it was for many
some
years.
time back. Yes, and when I found out that Shelby was kind of taking on his legacy and doing what he did and doing her own trail company, I thought this is fantastic. In fact, I have to thank you, Shelby, because she just did a trail ride for us on April 6th. And she raised $5,000. This
Wow,
young
that's
woman
great.
had 25 Broncos out in,
In Johnson Valley.
Johnson Valley. I knew it was a J. But they ended up at Pappy and Harriet's, which
Yes.
was a little more fun. But
It was. The whole day was so magical. The way that Deb and I met was just meant to be. One of our mutual friends happened to just send me a picture of the events brochure for Music in Motion. And when I saw that it was in Reno, Nevada at the National Automobile Museum, I responded to him and I said, do you know how much this means to me? My grandfather passed away from Parkinson's, and I learned so much about off-roading working here at the museum. when the Off-Road Motorsports Hall of Fame was housed here at the National Automobile Museum. And we got in contact, and it just,
It clicked.
everything was meant to be for us to work together and bring more light and support to those who are affected with Parkinson's.
Yeah, and we should just say, Phil, that the event that we're talking about is an evening of music in motion that we wouldn't have been possible without Phil and his generosity of the museum. And
Thank you, Phil.
yeah, and
Gosh.
And it's going to be a great evening. You know, the people that are coming are going to have full access to the museum. We've got a presentation that Shelby's part of, a whole group of women of influence. We've got Vanessa Williams is going to be moderating it. Muhammad Ali's daughter, Rashida, who's a big Parkinson's advocate out in Nevada and Arizona, is going to be joining us. And then a little bit of music in motion. We've got the daughter of James Brown, who else would be music in motion, right? And so Deanna Brown Thomas is joining us as well. And then we've got our Shelby on the stage. So it's going to be great.
No, I got to just share a little bit because I had kind of the same experience. I met Deb. I don't remember how I met you for the very first time, but automatically you connect with Deb. And since that time, when I've been in this world, I bring up your name just as recently as yesterday. And I go, well, you know Deb? And, of course I know. Everyone I know knows Deb.
Yeah, they want to get me out of there.
No.
I've had that same experience.
Of course I know her. But just think of the people that you just mentioned that you're able to pull together for an amazing cause. I mean, it's a great cause, but everyone knows you can't just pick up the phone. Hey, you know, Vanessa, would you like to come? Hey, Shelby, can you make it here? That's a lot of work behind the scenes between you and the rest of your team. But we know who's driving it. So thank you very much for making this happen.
Well, thank you.
It's amazing. Shelby, you just talked a little bit about your grandfather. Can you give us just a little bit more of a background about your story and your involvement in all aspects, if you could?
Yeah. I mean, really, it all started with my grandfather. And he was, as Deb mentioned, a huge pioneer in off-road motorsports. So, of course, when my dad and my uncle were growing up, they followed suit. So then it was my turn to welcome to the earth. And I remember, I mean, there's pictures and all sorts of stories from before I can even remember being down in Baja in, you know, my baby seat with my parents. But all I grew up with was dirt. That's what we did every weekend. It's what we did during the work week. You know, it's what my family did for a living. So racing, off-roading, adventuring is what I grew up doing. And I do have other siblings who are not into off-roading. So it was pretty exciting for my family that I was so drawn to it. And, you know, as I grew older, I tried dipping my toes into other industries and other work, and I hated it. I hated every minute of not being a part of this off-road adventure. And in 2019, I received this amazing invitation to race the Baja 1000 with Ford Performance, and that just started snowballing, and my relationship with Ford since then has just expanded, and now I'm a driver on the Ford Performance off-road team. I compete in the Rebel Rally on their behalf every year, and I've been able to really start fulfilling some of these dreams that I've had forever, and now I have my own company, Shelby Hall Off-Road, and I desert race. I actually just launched my new race car last weekend.
With your mom.
With my mom. She got to jump in with me, which was incredible. And I host off-road events. So from trail rides to community events to workshops, I really want to be able to share this very blessed. You know, I'm blessed to have been raised in a family that taught me to adventure and to figure out my own path. And I want to be able to share that with as many people as I can.
I think that's cool. I think that's the first person I met that said, I've been in this since my baby seat or my car seat, and the dirt's in our family, but it's passionate. I know a lot of people that they thought they want to go to a certain career. They they took a different path, but it pulled them back in, like yourself, and you knew what you wanted to do. You
Yep.
knew what made you happy, and look how successful you've been. So congratulations.
Well, I'm working on it, but thank you.
But just you're successful, and if you love what you do, that's even better, right?
It is. That is.
It's
I mean,
incredible.
that's the luckiest part for me is that I wake up every morning. Of course, there's days where we want to be on the couch or out playing in the sun. But I wake up every day so excited for what the next project is. And, there's in this line of work, there's so many goals that you have to set and to be competitive, whether I'm rallying or I'm racing or I'm hosting events. We've got timelines, we've got goals. We have so much to achieve. Every day, it's a new adventure.
I just love your energy. From the minute before we even started, you were kind of giving me a hard time and joking back and forth to each other, but it's always been a smile from the minute you walked in before the cameras came on, and it's contagious. It's really nice, and
She's
it's
a force
pleasure.
of nature.
Yeah,
And that's where the dirt comes
you can
in.
tell.
too.
That's the dirt.
Yes.
Started with the dirt. It started with the dirt. So the Drive for a Cure. Talk a little bit about that a little bit more, if you don't mind.
Well, I mean, we're an organization that started in 2016. I had lost my mom to Parkinson's 10 years before, and I've been in the auto industry for a long time. I'm not going to age myself on this one, but since then, and obviously have met a lot of people in the automotive industry. And I had been on the PR side. I continue to be on the PR side. I'm a publicist for a brand called Singer Vehicle Design. They're a global luxury brand that we reimagine Porsche 911s to the highest quality that you can do, and we also have a watch division in Geneva. And so, but separately, when I started Drive Toward a Cure, I really wanted to find momentum through the automotive community. It was the community that I loved so much, all the people that I thought were fun and social, and for every reason that you enjoy doing what you enjoy doing. And I had always done new product launches, and I thought, what could be so hard? We'll get consumers out now, and we'll do
Famous last words.
Piece of cake, right?
We'll do a multi-day drive. It won't be so hard. So we tried that in 2016, and instead of making it easy, we started in two places so that they can meet in the middle, and we made it as hard as we could, and it worked.
Because it's all downhill after that,
Yeah,
literally.
exactly. But the best part is that it's the community we've formed throughout the nation, and the people that we're able to help. Because while we've raised over $1 million since 2016, we divide that up so that we work with both the Michael J. Fox Foundation to support research, but we also work with the Parkinson's Foundation, which has more than 35 centers of excellence throughout the country. So when we have clubs and groups and organizations that do events like Shelby just did on our behalf, we can give it locally. And that way we can help people. And because we're little, I mean, if I give all of my money to one organization, I don't know what it really does. It might support a certain type of a thing.
Right.
But knowing what my mom went through and what she needed daily, I'd rather be able to give just a little bit of money that can go a longer way to help one or two people and know that we've got some satisfaction going in patient care. You know
what's interesting is that as I started talking to people after I met you about this event and about the association, the organization, almost every person I shared this version of the story about, they knew someone in their life that had Parkinson's.
Yep.
I was shocked how many people had one or maybe two people removed that went through it. And every one of them had a very different experience. Some were much more aggressive, some very
symptoms are
different.
very different. It's like snowflakes. There's no two that are alike. And here's the thing you're really going to be shocked about. It's how prevalent young onset Parkinson's is becoming. And that's for age 50 and younger. And we have so many people. I've got two people that are on my board that are in their 40s, maybe early 50s. And the tough part with that is that, they can't work anymore because they're on disability. And they're beginning to have symptoms that are growing, and they're realizing that they still have a family. They still have children to take care of. They still got to go to sports events. They've still got to take care of others while they're trying to take care of themselves. So we just started a new fund for ourselves. That's a young onset Parkinson's fund. And we actually last week concluded a Bring a Trailer auction with the money going to that. So we're trying to kick that off too and seeing what we can do. And the biggest thing for that is that, you don't want them to be depressed as they're going forward. And you want them to know that they're not going through things alone, which is really why we're also helping the Parkinson's Support Center of Northern Nevada, with the event at your museum,
Right.
because they didn't have a hardened facility that people could go to. They really are just 3 years new. And when I met Dr. Mindy Lakshan, I realized that they had so much that they were beginning to do in a group fashion, but there's more than 5,000 people in the High Sierra community that have Parkinson's and are living with it.
And I know I was ignorant in a lot of the, I don't know what you call them, characteristics or how to describe people that had it. Because, for example, my good friend Chevo, that's how we started talking.
Right.
He was probably the most outgoing individual you've ever met in your life. He was the life of every party you walked into. And when Miss Ali was talking about her father, one of the things that reinforced that was that even though they physically have just challenges, sharp as a tack.
Oh, yeah.
Sharp as a tack. So that's the part where I just literally had a humble moment saying, not only are they going there, but inside they're experiencing just so many other emotions and frustrations and depressions and everything else because it's sharp as a tack. I think a lot of people are surprised about that.
Yeah, it could be true. But, the guys that are on my team are wonderful. They are so optimistic and they are
Great.
so helpful in everything. I mean, Derek Torrey, who's been with me since day one, he and his son do a program called Pass to Pass for Parkinson's.
Yeah.
And they do about 250 miles a year hiking.
Wow.
And they do separate programs throughout the year, and they go camping and they hike. And there are a lot of Parkinson's people that come on this, and he leads the groups. And it's amazing because what he and our other people profess is that the more that you exercise and the more you put nutrition first in anything you do,
Right.
it
Education.
isn't just Parkinson's.
Right.
But for people to learn about that and be able to participate in it and go one step forward every day more, it's kind of like yoga. They say yoga is a practice because you're never like the best at it. You just keep getting better when you're practicing.
Yep.
And so, it's the same thing with this. If you can, eat a little bit better, if you can try and exercise a little more, it doesn't take Parkinson's away, but it helps slow the progression.
Oh, that's interesting. Good. Thank you. Shelby, question for you. So Reno wants to know this question.
Oh.
No, she's nervous. No, it's not like that.
Now I'm nervous.
But no, you were just talking about the race you just participated in the other day. Are you like, when you're preparing and you're training for something like that, are you like getting up, breaking the eggs, putting the Rocky music on, or is there certain things that you do to prepare, and what are they?
Can we run that Instagram?
Is there an Instagram that talks about
yeah,
that?
she's got a little reel that's awesome.
So like Deb
So
said,
we got to cut to the Instagram video after this one.
like Deb said, every day health is very important to me. I exercise every day. So, leading up to a competition, I don't do any extra working out, any special diet. Although if I'm getting in the race truck, like for an endurance race, definitely I eat like peanut butter and jelly or, something very bland, maybe bananas, something that digests very easily. And for competing in general, whether I'm racing or I'm doing a rally, we train a lot. And so the Rebel Rally is a navigational rally. It's a 8-day rally where we use only map and compass.
All women?
All women, only map and compass, and we traverse about 1,500 miles. So we have a different starting location every year. This last year, we started in Mammoth, and we always end in Glamis, which is the largest sand dune complex in North America. And so I spend a lot of time working on my driving skills in the dunes. I spend a lot of time in the desert. So
In the dirt.
In the dirt. The dunes are definitely where we spend most of our driving time. But my teammate and I spend a lot of days out in the desert with just a map and compass training for the rally every year.
Map and compass only.
No electronics.
You'd have to go send a rescue unit for me. I'd be just circling around. That's I didn't know that.
It's a very cool skill, and it's definitely not a skill I had prior to competing in the rally. 2016 was the first year that I competed, and then I took a little break, and then I came back in 2020. And, it's like anything, the more you do it, the better you get. I had always used maps. I had never used them with a compass to find one tiny coordinate on a map. And That's what we do for 8 days straight, is chase, 30 coordinates a day.
All right. So, that famous saying, if I only knew then what I know now, is did I say that right? Is there one particular thing early in your career you're going, boy, if I had just known that or learned that?
So many things.
I
feel like I've learned everything the hard way. Honestly, it's learning the lessons from a loss. It's hard as a competitor. It's hard to not get the outcome that you feel like you've put the work in for. And as time goes by and, you win some and you lose some, and that's just how it goes. And it's being able to take the lessons from not being as successful as you had hoped you would be and moving forward.
Okay. All right, we're going to take a break here, and we're going to bring in Federico, correct?
Federico Scarifo.
Say that fast 3 times. Say that fast 3 times. So we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to come back, and he will be joining us.
My name is Shelby Hall.
My name is Rory Lewis.
We are Desert Roots, Rebel Rally Team 150. During the Rebel Rally, it's my duty to take care of our third teammate, the Bronco Raptor.
Signature service, car coming in, Bay 4.
We compete for 8 days straight and traverse over 1,200 miles in the rugged, diverse landscapes. And my Bronco Raptor needs the complete wear protection that keeps us moving forward strong.
Checking tire pressure, 35 PSI. Clear to drain. Clear to add.
I need Pennzoil Ultra Platinum Oil because it is the most advanced motor oil in the Pennzoil family. It is not only formulated to endure the tough conditions that I drive through, but offers outstanding performance in extreme temperatures, like the beginning of this year's rally, 14-degree mornings, all the way to melting heats of Glamis. The next time you're at Jiffy Lube, be sure to ask for Pennzoil Ultra Platinum, and you'll know that you're getting the motor oil that will last through even the toughest of driving.
Hello, everybody. Back to What Drives Reno. I'm Phil MacDougall at the National Automobile Museum, and we are sponsored by Pennzoil. Long may we drive with Shelby Hall and Deb Pollack. Thank you, guys. And we have a special guest that's going to be joining us in a second.
We do. We've got another Pennzoil pal with us.
All right.
We've got our Italian stallion, Federico Scarifo. He is with Formula Drift, the Pro Class, and he drives Italian cars. He's got a Ferrari 599. He's got a Maserati drift car. And he does one of the coolest things I've ever seen. And when you guys see the footage of what this guy does, and then he takes you out so you can experience it, it's even better. Hey, Federico, how you doing?
Very good. After a exciting and wild weekend, as always, in Long Beach.
I actually live in Huntington Beach. I'm very close to Long Beach. I was so excited. I was going to go to my first Formula Drift, and then I ended up racing the same weekend. So I didn't get to come and watch you race.
And I had my Airbnb in Huntington Beach.
Oh,
so think about it.
Dang. All right. We're going to have to figure this out better next time.
Federico, before we get into it, we want to start off with you telling us your first car. So if you don't mind, it's kind of a tradition here on the show. Take it away.
So my first car, and it's going to be probably not known by many people, everybody knows the Cinquecento, right? So the Cinquecento is our old little car that became very popular, and now they're starting to cost a fortune. Up to a few years ago, they gave you $50 to take it out of their yard. Now it's like going to the stars as always. I did not have the Cinquecento, but I started with a 126 bis, and it's the ugly sister, cheaper than the Cinquecento.
You know, I've got a Cinquecento, but it's
There you go.
Well, here's the funny part. I was talking to somebody during the pandemic, and they said to me, "Tell me something that I don't know about you." And I said, "I'm actually building a Cinquecento in my kitchen." And they said, "What do you mean?" And I was doing a Lego one. So I still have it in the kitchen.
Fantastic. It's an amazing car. So that I started with that.
All right. Tell us a little bit, because I've heard this term shifting. Do you mind just kind of giving our audience a little?
Drifting.
Well, that's just why I had no idea, because it's not called shifting, it's called drifting. Actually, I was just saying that to see if Shelby and Deb would pick up on that. So they're really in tune with the show. But could you talk a little bit about drifting for us?
Yes. So drifting is a sport that starts in Japan almost 30 years ago. And it starts with no rules, with meetings among car enthusiasts, and then they started racing down these mountains, and it became more exciting seeing the cars downhill, losing the rear of the car and going on oversteer more than actually the time they took to get down from these mountains. Then it became so popular that they actually made rules and started events 25 years ago. And then I can for sure confirm you that it's the most growing motorsport of the last 10 to 15 years. So is a quick introduction. How do you understand what's going on a drifting event, right? So we have judges. It's a judge sport. It's not a timed sport, but it does matter speed. And we have judges that at briefings tell us exactly which line we have to execute to not lose the 100 points that we start with. So we get out of the gate with 100 points, and we have to do exactly what the judges say so we don't actually lose points during our run.
And how fast do you go?
Well, we go between 40, 50 miles per hour up to 130.
So I can only imagine that the performance of the car is essential. So could you tell us a little bit about some of the products that you use that are make you successful?
Well, for sure, the oil is the main, one of the main characters in this game of power and extreme heat. So the lubrication of the engine is very important. I, of course, choose the 10W60 of Pennzoil, which is the Racing Platinum. And it's a huge difference between any other product I tried up to date, because I will explain how you understand if an oil is of high quality or not. When you put your car or whatever machine you're using in motorsport under stress, oil tends to become more liquid as the temperatures raise, and so you lose oil pressure. And oil pressure is very important in the engine, to keep the lubrication as it needs to be. So I had an amazing experience during all the races that we are attending. The 10W60 is for sure one of the products that can stand these abuses during our competitions.
So Shelby, can you tell us a little bit about one of the products you use or anything? And,
I thought you were.
How's that for a lead in?
I thought you were going to ask me to say something as sexy as he did. And I was like, man, I just don't think I have that. That's not one of my skills. I don't name my vehicles either. So like a couple of them have just names that have caught on, but I don't name mine. So I actually just partnered with Jiffy Lube and Pennzoil this year, which was very exciting. And with the Rebel Rally, that competition is for stock street legal vehicles. So every year I compete in a new Ford Performance vehicle. And last year we were in a Ford Bronco Raptor. And so it's really important for us to have the best quality of, all products that we're using, because these vehicles aren't really designed to be out in extreme temperatures, being on dirt 98% of the time. So I have to make sure that my stock vehicle has the best products in it. So I was very excited to be able to partner with Pennzoil, and I use the Ultra Platinum oil in it, which is perfect for rough terrain where we see all these different temperatures. So as I mentioned last year, we started in Mammoth. There was snow on the ground, and we ended in Glamis of temperatures of 115 degrees.
All right, we're going to circle back to Drive for a Cure.
Okay.
So back to you,
We don't
Deb.
do anything that exciting.
Well, I was going to say, we're going to focus on you two, and Deb, you, and then I'm like, what do I say after compared to that?
What do you want to talk about?
I just want to talk about the excitement we have. I know when this airs, it's going to take place, after or before this airs.
Yeah.
But there's such great energy and synergy here with all this. And what do you have planned for going in the future? I know there's some other things coming up that we could talk about.
There's a few things coming up. I think one of the most important things, which is something else that Pennzoil is a sponsor for, is our annual 75 Days of Summer.
Great.
And that is a program we started it. We started it in I guess it was when the first year of the pandemic, because we couldn't do a multi-day drive. And so we still wanted people to get out and drive, either individually or with their family members or whatnot. And we start it every year on Father's Day, and it lasts through the 75 days through to Labor Day weekend. And basically, it's $20 for anyone to sign up. And with that, we encourage them to make their own fundraising page, which is really where we, make the most money. But we have sponsors like Pennzoil that contribute to our every Friday weekly random prize drawings that we do. So everyone who's entered, has the ability to win, and it's usually nothing less than $100. We've got $100 Pennzoil gift cards, Visas, that we give out. We give out memorabilia. We give out, all kinds of things that are automotive related. Some of them are apparel related. Some of them are just, memorabilia, I guess. And then at the end of the summer, the job is for everyone to calculate how many miles they've driven and how many dollars they've raised. So in order for them to win, it could be any combination. It could be just miles. It could be just money. It could be a combination of both. Each gets 1 point. So you never know who's really going to win. And then we've got sponsors like Michelin that give us a full set of tires valued at $2,000. We've got performance driving schools at, Willow Springs. We've got Radford Racing School. We've got Skip Barber. We've got, all kinds of things like that. We've got apparel that we give out. Harman Kardon has been a sponsor of ours. They've got Bluetooth speakers and things that they give out. So there's really quite a lot of incentive. And last year we had close to 100 people nationwide that participated, and we raised about $50,000.
Wow.
So,
That's amazing.
it's all because it takes a village,
Yeah, but you're the glue for the village because you're connecting all these people, because everyone is getting bombarded, right? Everyone's getting bombarded by sponsors' requests and donations, but you're able to pull it together. And there's a lot of great causes too. But truly, I've got to toot your horn a little bit more because it wouldn't happen without you, and we know it.
But
this
the
call
thing
wouldn't
is,
happen.
I got to tell you that the money obviously is crucial.
Right.
We want to make as much as we can, but what's equally important for us is awareness. Because the more people, like you said, every time you talk to someone, somebody else has had Parkinson's.
There's a connection there,
and,
always.
And we've got to get that awareness out there. I've got a good friend by the name of George Ackerman, who's got a show now. It's a podcast called Together for Sharon. He started an advocacy organization. He's I don't know if he's a true foundation because he doesn't take in one single dollar, but he has done hundreds, if not thousands, of interviews with people that are both Parkinson's patients, caretakers, and advocacy people. And he just wrote a book, and it was all to honor his mom. And what he has done globally just to get the word out there, and he won't stop until there's a cure. And it takes people like that just have it in their heart and want to do it. It's not always about the money. We want the money, don't get me wrong, but it takes that awareness and people to care enough to do it.
Okay, lightning round. Are you ready?
We'll try.
The most embarrassing thing that ever. No, I'm not going to go through that.
No.
I was tempted that.
I already told you I don't know where I would start.
Yes, that would be. How much time do we have on the show for Shelby? How much time for that?
As long as she wants.
Federico, think of your most embarrassing story, and we'll get back in a second. No, quickly, we're gonna go around real quick, and if there's one thing you want the viewers to know about you or your organization, about your partnerships, give you a couple seconds to think about it. Your career, what you want to educate people on, the website, anything at all. This is your 30 seconds to shine. America is watching.
Oh my God. Well,
global. Breaking
Reno,
news.
I think for me, the biggest thing is relationship enhancement. I mean, it doesn't matter through my whole career what my job was, what I got to do. It's really forming relationships. And I think it's relationship enhancement and relationship management because, through my career, we've gone through so many different ways of communicating with people. I mean, when I started, it was typewriters, Palm Pilots, there were no computers. There was not the internet. There was not the way to do it. It was the simple phone and getting back to people. And that's the way I still want to do it. I mean, I still follow up with everyone via email, but it's keeping those relationships. And I was, 23 when I started in PR on the car side. And I was fortunate enough to I worked with Mitsubishi Motors. And the gentleman who was the CEO at the time, he was their first employee and brought the company into the United States as a consultant. He was a Detroit guy, an Italian Detroit guy, and he believed in just relationship enhancement. And I would go with him on these media trips to talk with people, and we always sat around a table that was round. He said, if there's more than 4 people, everybody's got to be a part of the story. And it was all about relationships. And you don't have to talk business to do business. You've got to just be out there and get to know people. And the people that I met when I was 23, I'm still friends with now. And we're all in the car business in some way, shape, or form, and we're all in it together.
And I think everyone part of this podcast right now understands how special that is to you and how special you are to all of us. It's funny because we're all busy. And I can tell you personally, just the way I've interacted with you, if I have 50 calls to get back, I'm going to try and get back to yours because one, I feel bad. I feel that I need to get back to you. But it's the relationship part. It's not anything other than the relationship part because you're so nice about it and we're going to make sure things happen for you. But that's about all the things you just developed. So I mean that. Shelby, follow that.
I was going to say that's a tough one to follow with. I guess the one thing that I want to say is as I'm, leveling up in my career, I find it to be really important that I'm partnering with brands that I actually truly believe in and that they truly believe in me. It's very easy to create partnerships because it checks a box or because it sounds good. And that just isn't how a relationship works. And a partnership is a relationship. It's a two-way street. And I'm very, very grateful for the partners that I have, like BF Goodrich Tires, like Pennzoil, like Ford Performance, like Total Chaos, that really are my biggest cheerleaders. They're these global companies that appreciate what I'm doing, support me as a female, and are there to help elevate me. And that is something that, just like you were saying in relationships, we need to pass that down. And that's what I want to do with Shelby Hall Off-Road, is be a cheerleader for everyone that comes through my workshops, that comes to my off-road trail rides. Even if they don't have a lot of off-roading experience, how else do you get it? The only way you get it is by doing it. And you do it when you suck at it, and you keep doing it until you get better and better and better. And so I just really want to say that, believe in what you're doing, believe in the people that you're doing it with, and you'll be successful.
That's great. Okay, Federico, the bar is getting higher and higher. Your turn.
Sure. Well, the 2 points that Deb and Shelby expressed are 2 points that I can relate myself to, and also I really give priority to, I call it live relationships. Why? Because today we live in a very virtual world for many reasons, and I still am one of those believers that sometimes we risk to lose what's reality and what's not. So relationships are very fundamental. And following up what Shelby was expressing is being unique, being yourself, and also finding partners that respect that and help you to express your uniqueness even more. Well, I think that's very important.
And for people who are watching today and listening, how would they connect with you and learn more about you, specifically your careers at a website, social media page? How do people learn more about you?
So I'm on all social media platforms. You can find me on Facebook on Federico Sceriffo Official. Then you can find me on Instagram. It's Federico Sceriffo 17, which is my racing and battle number. With YouTube, Federico Sceriffo, there is many ways to know what I'm doing.
Say your name again, because I've been saying it for 2 years completely wrong. I love the accent. It's Sceriffo. I thought it was Sceriffo.
Yes. No, it's like sheriff, but with an O. Sceriffo.
Love it.
I'm not going to try it. I messed up everyone's pronunciations, even the name of the show and the tagline, so I'm starting over again. Any parting words?
I'm just so glad and thankful for Pennzoil, because they've really come through for us on so many levels, and having you guys here representing them just really means a lot. Thanks for taking the time, Federico. Really appreciate it. And Shelby,
I can't wait to come watch you drift.
We want to be in
let's
your
make it happen.
taxi.
Yes.
Let's make it happen. Yeah, I'm curious.
And I'm having a shifting competition later on.
Exactly.
Different than shifting and drifting.
Well,
just want to clarify.
You can do shifting competition, but I'll invite you to drifting competition.
I think this is going to be a lot more fun.
Three of us in the car. You've got 3 bucket seats to add.
Exactly,
right?
exactly.
Perfect.
She's actually behind the camera, just looking at me, Olympia.
Federico, thank you very much for everything. Thanks for taking the time to join us.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Phil. Thank you, Deb. And it was a pleasure meeting you, Shelby.
You too.
Hopefully we can all see each other soon. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you all. Federico, thank you. Shelby, Deb, thank you very much, everyone. Great conversation, great time. And that is our latest episode of What Drives Reno. Stay tuned for more information. And if you haven't been to the National Automobile Museum lately, you're missing something. It's www.automuseum.org. Bill MacDougall signing off. Thank you.